and welcome to Azentials again. It's been a while. I know it's been a little bit since I've done my last episode. It was a lot going on in my life. Just had to take care of my family. We were getting ready to move, trying to find a place to live, and whoo, that is a lot. And sometimes you have to put some things to the side in order to take care of things. But I'm back and I really want to get this podcast going again. And I'm hoping once or twice a month to post an episode. So forgive me. I was hoping to be able to post every week or every 2 weeks, but sometimes life just happens and that's okay, but at least I know that what I want to share today hopefully we'll give you guys all hope because all the craziness that was happening, a lot of my good habits were out of the picture too. And so, which is a lot of the things I talk about, the positive mindset, and Thoughtful Thursday, um, the 5 different habits to help you develop a positive mindset, or healthier mindset, kind of gone out the window. And I've noticed a difference in my life and noticed a difference in my mood and my behavior. And I am trying to change and become better at doing that. And I just want to give you all hope, like we all fall short. All of us do. And sometimes it's okay just to start over. Because I really want you all to remember the importance of failing forward. Failure or the lack of getting back to your habits for a while doesn't mean you're a bad person. Sometimes just life happens. Yes, it's not always great to lose some of those habits that can help your life, your business, your marriage, whatever it is. But as long as you recognize it and you get back on track is what is so important. Um, I have a lot of great quotes from 2 amazing books that I want to share. And one of them is from the book 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. Don't do. And chapter 10, it's titled They Don't Give Up After the First Failure. So a mentally strong person does not give up after the first failure. And I really love the opening quote that she has here. Dr. Morin. She's amazing. Totally recommend her book and recommend her as a resource for developing a positive mindset and a reset in life because she's been through really hard things, the death of her husband, death of her parent, around the same amount of time, and just having to go through that. And she shares her story in her book. So I would really, really highly recommend checking out her book. But I love the quote, failure is a part of the process of success. But people who avoid failure also avoid success. So I feel like in this society, we are so used to everything being quick, like everything's fast food, everything's streamed, everything's instant. We get very frustrated if we have like one little load button. I'm guilty of that too. Um, it's just important to recognize that that's not reality. That's, like we are pretty spoiled in the society where everything comes so quickly that when anything is slow or taking time, it gets really frustrating. We have no patience. We haven't been able to develop patience because everything's just right there at the tip of our fingers. ChatGPT has been an example of that too. We instantly get a lot of information all at once right there. So anytime we struggle with Wi-Fi, oh, it's hard for all of us, but there's hope, as we recognize that not everything comes instantly, especially success. We have to recognize that we're going to fail along the way. It's like any like young child or toddler or baby when they decide to start walking, crawling, riding a bicycle, trying to tie their shoes, like I'm kind of learning that with my little toddler right now. She's trying to be a little more independent, and sometimes I just have to let her fail and figure it out. And sometimes I'll be there to assist her and help her figure it out, you know. But sometimes we have to let others, let ourselves see what we need to work on. And there was another quote I really loved in here. Let's see. So kind of want to, before I read the quote, just to give a little preface, sometimes I feel like maybe we fail so much that it we become fearful. I think in a very perfectionist in society, um, or at least when we become perfectionists, and I can be guilty of that, it's really hard to give ourselves that grace, of failure or starting over or trying again. Um, and the quote is, fear is often at the heart of our unwillingness to try something again after we failed at it again. But not everyone shares the same fears about failure. Rather than facing their fears, many people simply avoid risking another failure, which we associate with shame. Yeah, so don't shame ourselves. Like the shoulds, the woulds, that's not really healthy thinking. I've kind of learned that along my journey is that sometimes certain expectations or certain shoulds is not healthy. Maybe yes, I should be a better mom. I should be a better business entrepreneur. I should be a better wife. I should be a better individual. I should be an example of what I'm preaching. There's a lot of shoulds, but I have to recognize and look at myself to not worry about what other people think of me, but more of what I think about myself, and that I'm better than the person I was yesterday or an hour ago or even a minute ago. And so we have to stop shaming ourselves and living in fear and give ourselves the courage to do it. She has some really amazing affirmations, I believe. Or is that in the other book? Here we go. So here are some great affirmations to help you. And this is also one thing I might be looking into. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. I was looking into maybe doing affirmation episodes, whether that's marriage, whether that's positive mindset, whether that's your business, whether that's just self-improvement, whatever it is, health. I was thinking of creating some affirmation episodes where you would repeat after me an affirmation. And so if that's something you guys would love, I would love to know in the comments. And so feel free to do that. But here are some 5 great affirmations that Amy shares here in her book to help us with it, with avoiding failure, with not avoiding failure, accepting failure is what I'm trying to say. Failure is often a part of the journey to success. I can handle failure. I can learn from my failures. Failure is a sign that I'm challenging myself and I can choose to try again. I have the power to overcome failure if I choose. I love that. I really love that. And here's some thoughts to be aware of, like that may not be really healthy in your journey to change and become better for yourself, improve on yourself. So these are thoughts to be aware of if they come up, to change them to those affirmation or more appropriate thoughts. Failure is unacceptable. I'm either a complete success or a complete failure. Failure is always my fault. I fail because I'm bad. People won't like me if I fail. If I couldn't do something right the first time, I won't be able to do it right the second time. I am not good enough to succeed. Those already just feel so negative as it is. Just reading them out loud. Um, but don't we all think one of those thoughts here and there? And I think especially like in the work world, or even as a child to a parent or a spouse to a spouse, whatever it is, or even as a parent, especially as parents, we get so easily caught up in the idea of how to word this, being afraid to fail others. You know, I definitely have been afraid to fail my family. I've definitely been, afraid to fail my parents. I've definitely been afraid to fail my own child. And I've been going through a lot of those things right now, is just kind of navigating that I can't always make everyone happy. I have to do what may be best for me and my family. And that can be really, really hard at times, especially when others make it so to you. But the thing is, too, you have to recognize you need to do what's best for you, for your mental health, for your marriage, for your parenthood, whatever, your own family, your work life, setting those boundaries, setting those abilities to just move forward and, fail and be okay that people are not always going to agree with your failures or with your decisions. And so I hope that kind of helps. And let me read those 5 affirmations again too. Now that we've talked about the negative, let's talk about the positive again, which were failure is often a part of the journey to success. I can handle failure. I can learn from my failures. Failure is a sign that I'm challenging myself and I can choose to try again. I have the power to overcome failure if I choose. So I really hope that helps you. And one other book I would highly recommend that if you're feeling, discouraged and trying to develop good habits, I would highly recommend the Atomic Habits book by James Clear. Um, a really good book of just setting, like, seeing how small, simple things, if you just start with one habit and you build over time, um, and you create certain ways to create those habits to become easier to develop or break certain habits, bad habits. Anyway, he has a lot of great tools in this book, and I'm just going to read one of them to you to give you a little sneak peek of what James has shared with us, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you, James. Um, so here are 4 ways that we can create good habits, and this can be found on page 54 in his book. So the first law, which is he titles Q, means make the habit obvious. If you're trying to create a good habit, you have to make it obvious, whether that's bright, like you put it by your nightstand so you see it every night, or you put it on the kitchen counter where you're going to see it, like rather that's trying to eat healthier, so you have apples in a bowl, whatever. You're trying to create a place to make it easier. You see it and you're going to do it. Sorry. The second law is craving, he titles it. Make it attractive. So make it fun, make it like something you want to do, whether that's an initiative, like every time I do this habit, I get this kind of reward. The third law, response, make it easy. Don't overcomplicate habits. Don't overcomplicate it. Make it so simple. For example, in my 5-day positive mindset challenge workbook that I would really highly recommend. One of the habits is replacing negative thinking with positive thinking or better and healthier thoughts. And making it easy, sometimes it's rather you have a piece of paper, but sometimes we don't have paper and pen around us, so I keep it on my phone. I make it easy. And I have a little table, one side's negative thoughts, one side is replacing those negative thoughts with healthier thoughts. And every night I just write down a negative thought and then write a positive thought. And I usually do this right before bed. So that's how I make it obvious, is right before bed. Every time I see the bed, I know that's when I need to do it. And then I make it easy. So don't overcomplicate habits. The fourth law, reward. So it can kind of be part of attractive, but mostly it's make it satisfying, you know. Kind of goes more into the book about it, but make it like you're so happy that you did it. You are satisfied with your effort in your work. So I really love that. So those were awesome kind of ways that James shared it. And so, but anyway, I'm kind of sharing this because I'm kind of telling myself this as I challenge myself to do the positive mindset challenge again. And I've been doing it for about a month and I still have a long way to go, but I'm so excited to try again. And I will soon do that with my business core, which I have a workbook in the making of 6 different habits or 5 different habits. I'm still kind of figuring out what habits to keep. So, but habits that will help you build your business. And as you can notice, I have been kind of missing in action, and that's what I want to work on. I want to work on my business as well as my mental health with positive mindset. So please check out the positive mindset challenge. I will attach the link below in the comment section where you can get that challenge. And also you can I'm just excited to also announce that I will be publishing to you guys a small beginners for freelancing, So for mothers out there who want to make some side income but are struggling and don't want to go to the 9 to 5 job and have a boss, freelance is also what I do. And I created a simple workbook that can just give you the basics of how to get started without having to spend a lot of money on a course. You know how amazing those courses are, and probably definitely can give amazing information. Sometimes you just want the basic stuff to help you get started, and then you learn more along the way. You fail and you learn along the way. So anyway, I'm very, very excited to announce about that workbook, and it'll be coming up, and I will have it linked in the show notes below. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening in today. I appreciate you guys for your support. Please share with anyone who could use this message or could just need a restart in life. We all need a restart. And I just hope you know that you're valuable, you're important, you're loved by a Heavenly Father, a God in heaven. And I also know, and I just feel that love for you guys. And so please share my channel. I can't do this without you guys. So thank you and look forward to hearing from you guys and have a wonderful day.